So I think that what Kaepernick is learning from this and is going to have to learn is that, when you really go out there and put it on the line, this is why sacrifice and revolution ain't for everybody. Protest and all that ain't for everybody because it's a big sacrifice. I remember when I was running my mouth at Syracuse and also in grad school at the University of Kentucky. Go check my record. Go back. I was 25 years old and I used to write these articles, really radical articles, at the University of Kentucky. And I still stand by every word. I remember my mother saying to me, well, you do know that the person who makes the sacrifice doesn't usually get the benefit of the sacrifice. And I remember hearing that, and I made a decision back then in my 20s to realize, like, well, wait a minute, if I don't get the benefit, maybe somebody else will. Maybe I'm the lineman and I clear the pathway so the running back can get to the end zone. I ain't got to dance in the end zone. I need to become happy and confident and comfortable enough with my sacrifice to know that even if I lose everything, even if I get blackballed, even if I die, I can, do that with the comfort of knowing that somebody gets to live because I died. I get the comfort of knowing that that somebody benefits because I took a loss. And I think that with Cap, I don't feel like Cap's really taking a loss. Cap, yeah, he's blackballed from the NFL. He can't get a job. But think about this. Cap can make money for the rest of his life on book deals and speaking deals. He got a tens of millions of dollars from Nike. He got I think about 10 million from his settlement with the NFL. His homeboy Eric Reed, who's criticizing Jay-Z for getting NFL money, he's getting NFL money. He's still got a job with the league. So, I just don't think. I think that we got to learn what sacrifice really means. And like Malcolm used to say, if you that a lot of times freedom, the price of freedom is in many cases is actually death. Now, it may not be physical death. You may not actually have to die. Fortunately, we live in a country that's relatively nonviolent, where you don't have to die for freedom. But sometimes you might die in other ways. Your career might die. You might have to realize, like, you'll never act in Hollywood again. That's Monique, maybe. Maybe Monique will never get called in for, by Warner Brothers or whatever for the rest of her life. But she's taken that exchange. Ali knew that he may never boxing. Ali lost. Ali was not allowed to fight during the peak of his career. And he was broke. Nike didn't sign Ali to a $50-100 million endorsement deal. Nike wasn't around at that time. Ali he couldn't feed his family, and so ultimately, when you think about this thing, it's one of those things where either you think that this kind of sacrifice is stupid, or you think it's a wonderful opportunity. It's a heroic opportunity. People who think it's stupid are the ones who say, man, why would you put all that online? Why would you lose everything? Why would you lose a job over protest? I mean, think about it. All Kaepernick's really lost is a job. Black people lose jobs all the time. There's been black people that have lost their freedom taking a stand. There have been black people who have lost their lives taking a stand. There are black men who have had their balls cut off and shoved in their mouth and hung from a tree because they took a stand. So your sacrifice ain't that great, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, you lost a damn job. And so you might be mad at Jay-Z for going in and being the bridge builder, but that's the way it works. In our community, there are bridge builders and there are mobilizers. There are the radical people and there are the people that can serve as the liaisons. I'm not a bridge builder. The white man ain't gonna hire me. There's no white university, at least not in the top 50, that would hire me to come into their finance department. And I have credentials that are better than 90% of the faculty. I was the only black man on the planet, only African-American man on the planet to get a PhD in finance in 2002. So in all these schools claim like, oh, we've been looking everywhere to find qualified minorities. Well, there I was right there. I was not minorities, black people. I don't like using that word minorities, but I was right there. I was like, I'm here. I was trained by some of the best people on the planet. I'm right here. But they're like, no, we don't want to fuck with you because you're too black. And so I had to accept that and know that if I'm operating in the white man's world, there's certain rules that he's going to write that if I don't like them, I can shut the fuck up or get the fuck out. I had two choices, right? That's it. Shut the fuck up or get the fuck out. I didn't want to shut the fuck up, so I had to get the fuck out. So Kaepernick, he's not the guy for them. They'll never deal with Kaepernick. Dealing with Kaepernick for them is a sign of weakness in their minds. They're like, look, we'll support the issue, we'll support causes, we'll donate to charities, we'll triple our donations to the millions, we'll even donate to charities directly. Remember, Jay-Z, pay attention now, Jay-Z actually is doing really interesting activist work in addition to his, he's a capitalist, we know that, but he made that documentary about Meek Mill, which was, from what I hear, very, very good, where he was confronting the justice system directly, and they're talking about all the men that are in prison, and he's the guy. Him and Beyonce, behind the scenes, quiet as kept, have been the ones who made sure that when the activists are out protesting police brutality, that they're able to eat and able to get what they need, because sometimes some activists forget that at the end of the day somebody got to write a damn check. So when you write off all your business owners as sellouts and you just a capitalist, you don't care about the issue. Well, yeah, you take your little communist socialist ass out there in the street, and I bet you that you'll be begging some white capitalist to pay your bills on Monday because you can't feed your damn kids because you out here trying to carry a picket sign in poverty. You can't really have power in America without having somebody provide the financial backing for you to get things done. So I'm gonna tell you on this one. I don't side with Jay-Z on everything. I think Jay is definitely being used, and I think Jay's using them. But I think, and also when that situation went down, I thought about when Jay-Z pretended to be an owner for the Brooklyn Nets. Also, these Russians that could come in and gentrify a black neighborhood without any protests. I didn't like that at all. So I'm not 100% on board with every move Jay-Z makes. But in this particular case, I just think it's very weird and really, they're young. They're younger than me, so I'm not gonna be overly critical because some things come to you with age. But I would say naively self-serving to think that if Jay makes a deal with the NFL, I got to my job must be part of that deal. When I was at Syracuse and they pushed me out and I eventually left, they had to pay me off. They paid me a few $100,000 to remain quiet, and I didn't remain quiet, but I did leave. They hired a ton of black people. They were giving all kinds. They opened the door wide open for black people, and I remember thinking like, damn, like y'all could have did that for me, and we wouldn't have had these problems, right? But what it was they didn't want to fuck with me. They didn't want to deal. They're like, we don't want you around because we see you as a threat. So I think the NFL feels that Kaepernick being in the league is a sign of weakness, that it's a threat, that it's not something they want to commit to. But I think that them committing to Jay-Z does not mean that they just got some Uncle Tom to give them a pass on everything that they do. Jay-Z's track record is not consistent with him just being a quiet Uncle Tom. So that's my 2 cents. That's what it is. You remember, you need your bridge builders and your mobilizers. Like I'm a mobilizer. I'm not a bridge builder. Barack Obama is a bridge builder. So while I can critique a bridge builder and push them to do better, I have to understand that there's certain things that a Barack Obama will be allowed to do in white society that I'll never be allowed to do. I'll never be in the White House, no matter how qualified I am, because I'm too much of a threat to the pre-existing system. And if I were them, I wouldn't let me in, and I wouldn't let me control their system either. So it's a two-person plan, or not two-person, but there are two types of, or multiple types of leaders that get things done. So I don't have a problem with what Jay's doing. I really don't. Why not talk shit to the league and get a bag? That's funny. All right, I gotta go, guys. I got a meeting in a minute. But by the way, if you live in Atlanta, I'll be in Atlanta the weekend of August 23rd. If you want to know more, go to drboyceatlanta.com, drboyceatlanta.com. And also, don't forget, come to the All Black National Convention. If you are really, really black and you like to be around black people and you like talking about black stuff in an environment that's full of intelligent black people, go to allblacknationalconvention.com. It's in Houston the weekend of September 27th. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Peace.